Notice it's not public servant, it's official, it's authority, and the media creamily calls them officials and bows down to them and gets the government press releases and with relish repeats the lies and bows to government. Everything's the opposite of what liberty is, just bowing and groveling to the petty signets of power.
That's right. This is a strange society where the public servants earn more than maybe 1,000 families combined each. So there's something wrong here, and let's get back to serving the people. They've never served the people in other countries. In the U.S., you were the only country with a chance, and I think the people have to regain that very, very quickly. And as I say, by one means or another, because we know the agenda. They've told us the agenda. They know what's in store.
Yeah, they're already poisoning the food, the water. Most of us are dead already with the soft kill weapons. Stay there, Alan Watt. We're going directly to calls when we come back. Key information straight ahead. CuttingThroughTheMatrix.com, Infowars.com. Back to Alan Watt here in just a minute. By the way, everything we're talking about is in hundreds of government textbooks, policy reports. That's the frustration, is the globalists said 100 years ago they were going to build a global socialist system to bankrupt everyone and make us all dependent on a scientific elite to then carry out the eugenics extermination of the general public. And that's what they're going to do, and they're already poisoning you in the food and water. Some people send me emails and say, we live longer than we did 100 years ago. Depending on the period, around 30%, sometimes even higher, 50%, in between those gradients. People died by the age of 5 to 6 to 7. A lot of kids died at, the first 6 months. You had a lot of infant mortality. So they average that in and say, the average person lived to be, say, 43 years old in 1860. Well, that's not true. If you made it past the age of 10, the average person lived into their early 80s. And if you look at infant mortality, they now admit that America has the lowest infant mortality. That is the highest rate of children dying, the highest infant mortality in the world, of any industrialized world country. And I'm trying to hurry here, and I start babbling whenever I do that because I've got Alan Watt in your calls. But let me just take my time on this for a moment. There's different statistics from each year gleaned in different counties and cities. And they've gone back and looked at this. But here's a layman's way of explaining it. We have family cemeteries in East Texas that we visited. And you will see Jones, Johnsons, Browns, depending on what cemetery we're visiting. And 30% or more, every 2 or 3 graves, it's a year-old child, 2-year-old child, 1-month-old child, child who stillbirth. A lot of the graves are children. So when you look at that, then you look at Russia. Their life expectancy is going way down. The United States is going way down. We are being poisoned. We are being killed. This is happening. So I'm done talking about that. These calls. But then at the last few minutes of the show, any other points that you think are important that are on the front burner in Alan Watt's interesting and informative world, and closing out the broadcast. But right now, let's go to Dan in Colorado. Dan, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hi, Alex. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. Been listening to you for about 7 years. Hope you'll give me a minute here to go ahead and try to correct a wrong. I believe you're a phenomenal person that has a great amount of knowledge, but one thing you said today that just bothered me so bad, it was worth waiting the hour and 20 minutes to be able to say something. This business about the Catholic clergy not allowing men to be married, promotes men having sex with men, is bull. The reality of it is, and there's from Associated Press, their insurance report indicates more child sex abuse amongst Protestants than clergy. The reality. Well, sir,
let me be clear. I'm not involved in Catholic bashing here, and I get criticized because I don't Catholic bash. It's a very popular thing to do, and the media promotes it. I know there's been debates in the Catholic Church, and just from my study of different navies, and other groups, it seems to me you get a bunch of men together and they can't ever be with a woman, that you're statistically going to have some problems there. But, I was taking calls. I understand you've been holding before Alan Watt, but people just obsess over this stuff. The lady called in and said something about the Catholic Church, so I just threw in there that there is epidemic levels of child molestation going on all over the place. We talk about Congress and these congressmen and how in powerful positions this is going on everywhere. And I don't think that can be denied, Dan.
Alex, are you going to allow me to speak?
Well, I mean, you're on the air, sir. I just responded. You had a chance. Well, hold on. I'll put him on hold. You just allowed me. I allowed you to make your statement, which was a whole thought. And then I countered, and it seemed it made you really mad that I came back with my point about how child molestation is epidemic in power systems. And I'm going to get Alan Watts' take on that in a moment. But go ahead, Dan.
Or you can respect me enough to go ahead and want me to purchase your products.
No, put him on hold. Put him on hold. He's mad, see? And he's going to pick a fight with me because he doesn't like what I said earlier about how there's, obviously the Pope, if he's infallible, he said that it was wrong and he apologized. I'm not obsessing over this, but we don't really even get into these issues because it's already well known. But you're angry, Dan. If you want to put out your opinion or set me straight, go ahead. But if you're so enraged because I'm giving my opinion, then there's no point, Dan. Now, let's try one more time. Go ahead, Dan.
I'm enraged because you're talking over me. That's why I'm enraged. You interrupt.
Okay, put him on hold again. We're going to continue this. We're going to continue this, Dan. This is how this works. See, I don't sit there like these old fogey radio shows that nobody listens to where one guy talks for an hour and nobody interjects. People like hearing back and forth. That's normal unless you've got, Alzheimer's. What I'm saying to you, sir, is that you made your counterpoint to me and then I made my counterpoint back, and you're calling that an interruption. I'm going to give you one more chance to not repeat that I'm interrupting and tell me your view.
My view is you've got it all wrong. If you don't know who Bella Dodd is, who wrote School of Darkness, a Catholic communist agent that went ahead and infiltrated the Catholic Church with over 1,000 men, also testified in front of Congress clear back in the 30s and the 40s. If you don't know about that, you don't know what's going on as far as the battle within the Catholic Church. There's good and evil.
Well, sir, I'm not a Catholic, so I don't know a lot about it. I've got Catholic friends. They seem like good people that are out there, standing up against abortion and things. Catholics are some of the best people I've met. My whole thing is I'm nonpartisan. I'm non-denominational. I don't weigh into all these religious infighting. That's a tool of the globalist. And I do know that that the communists and others said they would infiltrate all of the clergy to take them over and corrupt them. And I am aware of that. And actually, we have talked about that here on the show. So listen, Dan, why don't you write an article and send it to Infowars.com with your points, and if it's well written and sourced, we'll post it. We have people that give us different views. Write an op-ed piece, send it to writers@Infowars.com. Okay, I appreciate your call. I'm sorry, Alan, to digress for 3 minutes on that, but the guy's really wound up. Do you have any comments to that?
Yeah, it's divide and conquer. It's quite right that the Catholic Church was heavily infiltrated. Malachi Martin came out and said that there was, in the hierarchy and going up downwards, there was a group of homosexual priests there who covered for each other and were up to many other things which were definitely not Catholic whatsoever. It's a bureaucracy at the top, and it's infiltrated, and it's gone its own direction. And since Vatican I and Vatican II, technically, they've helped to destroy what was left of the Church. We've got to understand that everything that was an institution that gave values to people has been destroyed over the last 100 years. And what was left even of the Protestant religions, I can't even relate to them anymore, because they're almost like TV evangelists with feel-good attitudes and never look at evil, just be happy. Everything has been destroyed along with the morality that goes with it, and society has been debased to its bottom level. The deviancy in society is rampant through all society now. Look at what they're watching on television. And I don't watch TV, but if I tune in once every 6 months to a year, I feel like I've come back from an alien planet and how far it's gone.
That's right, because they incrementally make it wilder and more sick and more mentally ill and just nonsensical. The cartoons are meant to screw the kids up and confuse them, so they'll be rudderless. And if you don't watch a lot of TV, then when you come back to it, it is just laced with propaganda, no matter what you're watching. I challenge people, stop drinking tap water and then 6 months later taste how horrible it tastes. I challenge people to not watch TV for 6 months and then go back to it, and you will witness the programming. Go ahead, Alan.
Well,